The Atlanta Hawks, it's not just one deal. I want to focus on their entire summer. So they took a first-round pick, Terrence Mann, made a series of deals, and ended up with Kristaps Porzingis, Nickeil Alexander-Walker on the other end of that, and Luke Kennard. And they got, I think, what was really important as part of the deal they made on draft night to move 10 spots back in the draft. They were able to get an unprotected first-round pick next year. So you look at those maneuvers, a great value summer from the Hawks. All right, number 4. Now I'm going to talk about a player right now who signed a 3-year, $119 million deal. And you would say value for Kyrie Irving? Yes, absolutely, and let me explain. Kyrie Irving took a $7 million pay cut. Now, I know he's recovering from an ACL injury. He's going to miss a big part of this season, but he didn't have to, guys. He had a $43 million player option. He could have picked that up and moved into free agency in 2026. The Mavericks getting him to take that pay cut enabled them to sign D'Angelo Russell, which gives him a replacement, kept them under the second apron. In return, he gets free agency in 2 years. Terrific deal there. All right, number 3. Again, think about the value. What if I told you the Los Angeles Lakers were able to sign a player for $8 million who has had double-doubles in more than half the games in his career? Well, that's what they were able to get with DeAndre Ayton. Was he worth the $35 million he was going to make this year in Portland the way he played the last couple of years? Debatable. Is he worth that and much more as the new starting center for the Lakers, highly motivated to restore his value before hitting free agency next year? You bet. This is a guy who's averaged a double-double, can rebound with anybody in the league, and will be a good rolling partner for Luka Doncic. Great value. Now, if I told you that you could get a guy who averaged 17 points, shot 50% from the field and 39% for three for $5 million, what would you say?
Take him.
You would say, absolutely, I will sign Bradley Beal. What an incredible value contract that the LA Clippers got for Bradley Beal, who comes in number 2 here. Now, is he still a $50 million player? The Suns would tell you no, and that's why they waived him. However, at $5 million, 1/10 the cost with that production, especially going to a team that is interested in rehabbing his image and he can be highly motivated to go back into a free agency situation next year, this is ideal for the Clippers. Grade A value. And number 1, a combination maneuver that the Houston Rockets made. What a great offseason for the Houston Rockets. The trade for Kevin Durant. Look, you're getting a first ballot Hall of Famer, still very much in his scoring prime, for what they gave up in that deal. I know that Jalen Green, there's some people who really like him, but that is tremendous value for Kevin Durant. And I also want to talk about the contract for Fred VanVleet. He took over a $15 million pay cut from his player option to get into a 1+1. He can be a free agent again next year. Again, an agreement with the team. Give us a good contract this year. We'll let you go back to the market next year. Do you know what kind of value it is for Fred VanVleet at $25 million a year? Tremendous work by the Rockets on their entire roster, but especially those deals.
I mean, him saying value over and over and over again. Now we see why you're wearing the Rockets red.
Award for Raphael Stone.
Does anyone else still want like a value meal right now?
Yeah.
Saying that over and over. That's what I'm saying. Everyone likes to get a little bit more.
What happened to the Miami Heat and getting Norman Powell?
That's a good
Brian,
value.
I mean,
That's a good one, Ramona.
Can we extend
That's a
that?
good one. It's not an exhaustive list. You're right.
Okay. All right. I mean, there should be room for
Any others to add?
No, but I'm Team Atlanta. I think that Atlanta number 5 could certainly move up to maybe 1, and I say that because of that New Orleans or Milwaukee first-round pick that could be awfully juicy next offseason.
There are 2 teams, though, that made this list that we've been talking about a whole lot, and that is the Los Angeles Lakers, signing DeAndre Ayton and adding Marcus Smart now, and the Los Angeles Clippers, who have had a very busy last couple of weeks here today. You missed it yesterday. We were debating who had the better offseason, but it's a good thing we have a chance to ask you right now.
Look, are we going to do what we always do?
Yes.
And you know what that is.
You're going to go right on down that middle fast lane.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
No, sis, I'm not going down the middle fast lane. We know what the greatness will be when it comes to Los Angeles based off of the top tier stars. I always get so excited about the Clippers to start a season, and I always get my heart broken.
Yeah.
But I think we're going to jump back in.
Okay, we're going to jump back in. He's a heartbreak kid.
Look, I would love for both of these teams in the same city to be rivals and to both have great seasons, but I am really intrigued by what the Clippers have done. And I think Windy was the perfect sell. If you get a 17-point-per-game score, you know, on 40% shooting from three, you're going to be like, oh my gosh. Now, the only cause for a pause that I have with the Clippers and Bradley Beal is this is one of the oldest, I'm going to assume, rosters in the NBA.
Yep,
CP,
that's correct.
40. You know, Brooke Lopez, 37.
Just say ARP cards.
Yeah, just distribute them at this point. But AJ, nothing but a number, okay, when it comes to Chris Paul and LeBron James and this recent generation of greats who have taken care of their body. Chris Paul played in all games, 82 games last year. So I'm not diminishing that. The only concern I have is we saw an NBA Finals where it was young legs, fresh legs, running, gunning. You have to be able to compete. And the reason why I'm giving a little bit of benefit is they ran into a buzzsaw that was the Denver Nuggets. That series could have gone either way, in my opinion. Based on some factors, they are better now than they were before.
Right.
So, yeah.
Look, I was there for that Game 7 when they just absolutely ran out of gas. And you give all the credit to the Denver Nuggets, but that was a very tight series. And what they've done now is added a lot of depth. But to me, the Lakers have the inside track here. If they sign Luka Doncic to that contract extension. Their summer's incomplete until we know if he extends with the Lakers when he's starting to be eligible August 2nd. Now, I don't expect it'll happen August 2nd, but I would be very surprised if he did not extend with them, at least for the shorter-term deal that he could do, because, like, they have all been behaving and talking in forever terms. They've all been talking like we are a partnership now. They took him out to dinner, as Brian and I wrote about a couple weeks ago, right after the season. Rob Pelinka's handed him binders of here's our future plans. He left with that binder and let all the paparazzi photograph him. The Lakers have plans to go visit him in Slovenia this offseason. They're going to go to Eurobasket. I mean, all the signs. Like he has spent time with Jeannie Buss. They're in contact with the new ownership group that's coming in. This is not a player that's looking like I'm going to leave as a free agent next year.
Right.
And so if he signs, if he extends, even for the short extension, then I think it's absolutely the Lakers.
And he's making the calls multiple times to Marcus Smart, a role we haven't seen him necessarily occupy in the past, and saying, hey, come play with the Los Angeles.
He knows he needs some defense. You know what I'm saying? He needs some help on the perimeter.
Can I be Chennai and just hit it down the middle?
No. Take a stand. Come on now.
All right, I will say,
Come on, Bob.
I think for me, it's the Clippers, just based on John Collins, Brooke Lopez, Bradley Beal, Nick Batum, Chris Paul. However, there's a however to this. My only concern is that there's too many mouths to feed. And I've seen that happen in Brooklyn when I was there, when you have almost too many players.
In fact, did you see the press release that went out for Chris Paul? There was something in it that was a little bit different than other press releases.
They basically stated what his role was going to be. You know, they kind of closed the door that he would be starting, that basically he was going to be in a reserve role. And I think that was important for the Clippers to do. But as Ramona said, listen, if Luka resigns, which I think all intentions are, then certainly what the Lakers have been able to do has been a really good summer.
All right, Brian, you're the fight. Are you going to make this a tie break, or are you making it a tie, or are you piling on?
Well, I agree. I cannot understate or overstate, whatever I'm supposed to say here,